the political process is playing it out at the local level, but it's not good for our committee. It's not good for our community, and it sure has nothing to do with children.
Chaos, disruption, and filibuster breaking out at Fresno Unified's first board meeting of the new school year. Will trustee Terry Sladek be censured again? Superintendent Bob Nelson joins me exclusively. What he thinks the board should do, and will the district adopt a vaccine mandate for staff and eligible students?
But we don't want to let all the horses out of the barn at once, Alexon, because it's really hard to close the barn door once all the horses have bolted out.
Club One Casino just weeks away from reopening, the only card room in Fresno, but at a new location. One city council member still not all in on the move to Granite Park. Tyler Maxwell defends his delay and restrictions limiting table play. And could 12% of city revenue from Club One go directly to Granite Park? And our panel ready to weigh in, from a new vaccine mandate for all Central Valley community colleges to the vice president returning to Washington and not stumping for Governor Newsom. Welcome to Sunday. It's KC24 Sunday Morning Matters.
Now, from your local election headquarters, KC24, this is Sunday Morning Matters with your host, Alexon Balakian.
And good Sunday morning, and welcome to the all-new Sunday Morning Matters. I'm Alexon Balakian. Please join the conversation on Twitter and Facebook at Real Alexon. Use the hashtag Sunday Morning Matters. Along the way, Fresno County Elections Clerk James Coos will join me for an update on recall ballots. But first, chaos on the Fresno Unified dais in the school year's first board meeting.
Thank you. I have the floor.
Okay, I'm going to have to close the meeting.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Trustee Sladek, you leave us no choice. I'm going to have to close this meeting. This meeting is finished at 7:15 p.m.
The first board meeting of the new school year for Fresno Unified ends like that, after trustee Terry Sladek refuses to stop talking even after his mic was turned off. The board meeting did not even last an hour as Sladek clashed with board members and the superintendent. It comes as we're seeing new numbers for the first time for the third largest school district in the state for COVID as they return to in-person learning. We are seeing those numbers and students and employees as the district launched their new dashboard on Thursday. As of this week, the district is reporting a spike in cases, 295 positive student cases. There was only 8 reported in July. 99 employees have tested positive for COVID, way up from the reported 8 in July. There's been 577 close contacts among students. 30 classrooms have identified as potential close contacts, and as of now, 38 departments are reporting 3 or more cases. Let's welcome in Fresno Unified Superintendent Bob Nelson. Welcome back to Sunday Morning Matters. Thanks for being with us.
Great to see you, Alexon. Thanks for having us.
Well, let's start with the chaos we saw on Wednesday. You know, after what parents and teachers, the community witnessed at that board meeting. Is Fresno Unified dysfunctional?
Well, the reality of it is Fresno Unified strives really hard to be a professional organization as it relates to its board meetings. And the truth of the matter is we only got through the A items of the agenda because once we hit board superintendent communications, we were in the middle of a filibuster. And so that was what ended the meeting, trying to get through the B items of the agenda, and the unscheduled oral didn't happen because one of our trustees just kept talking. And parliamentary, the board president tried to get that to stop, but it didn't stop over the course of about an hour, so we ended the meeting early. So all of that stuff's going to come back on the next board meeting, which is the 8th of September.
You know, it's to wonder if Trustee Sladek will continue to do the same thing. Is the board likely to censure him again? You know, it was lifted. This was the first meeting where it was lifted for the first time, and I'm wondering if you believe that he should be censured after what we witnessed on Wednesday.
I actually think those are part and parcel of maybe the same thing. The censure draws him back toward the other trustees, and he's gone on record, made it very clear over multiple times that he doesn't choose to be affiliated with them. There was discussion of recalling his colleagues and doing work that he doesn't want to do with them. So he immediately puts himself at odds from them at the first meeting back toward the censure. So the issue is, will the board call its, they have a subcommittee that does or considers censuring him? To some degree, to his credit, he kind of made people aware, like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to speak for 75 minutes, which is why the board president up front said, we're going to restrict that. These are what the guidelines are, the board policy as it relates to speaking in board superintendent communications. It's designed to be a brief announcement or a short report. not go 75 minutes, but it just didn't stop.
So
it kept coming.
So you were aware that Trustee Sladek was going to do this?
Yeah, he had said previously, my intent is to speak for like 75 minutes of board superintendent communications. And the narrative was, these are new things that we need to get out. But actually, if you watch the record, the commentary that he made is stuff that he has said publicly in previous meetings on the record as well.
We've never
to
seen
some degree,
this.
it just comes across as political theater in live time, which generally speaking is playing itself across, school boards across the nation in this current time.
We've covered a lot of Fresno school board meetings, unified, and I've never seen anything like this. How embarrassing!
Yeah,
How embarrassing is this for the third largest school district in the state?
Yeah, suffice to say, it's not the fresh face that we want to put out forward in front of our electorate. It's not that we are alone in that. I know you guys are probably running a story too of a gentleman who disrobed as a statement around mask wearing. So this is actually kind of a theme thing now, which is that the political process is playing it out at the local level, but it's not good for our committee. It's not good for our community, and it sure has nothing to do with children.
But are his constituents who elected him, are they being heard?
Ultimately, that is the group of people that somebody say, what can you do about it? Can you throw them out? What can you do? Like, the people to whom he responds is his constituent base. So if that's what his constituent base wants him to do for and on their behalf, then they have to decide that. And if they don't, then they need to figure out to be represented differently. The difficult thing is, there was some overlayment in that meeting where there were constituents from his own area wanting to speak to items on the B agenda that never got raised because we didn't get to the B agenda. So it's problematic.
I want to move to the COVID situation. We read off the numbers. They have considerably increased since the start of school, just a couple of weeks. And I'm wondering, we saw it on the CSU level. We see it on the State Center Community College level. I'm wondering, is the FTA, is the district talking about a vaccine mandate for all staff and students eligible, again, to get the COVID vaccine? Will there be a mandate?
No, we've talked directly with trustees about whether or not we want to mandate vaccines, and at this time we are not mandating vaccination. That being said, we aren't trying to incentivize vaccination and working with community partners to have vaccines available at our secondary sites. We are fundamentally, Alex, an educational institution. We are not a public health entity. We're not the city. To some degree, there's some extensions on that kind of take that a bridge too far. That being said, we are having pandemic issues of kids getting positive, and it is comorbid with people that are not vaccinated. We're, regardless of people's political leanings in that regard, it is frequently the unvaccinated who are getting sick in this scenario, and we are having transmission in our schools. We do have a forward-facing public dashboard at FresnoUnified.org, so people can find out how many kids have been sick, how many adults have been sick, but we're not mandating vaccination at this time.
We see the dashboard, but it's really the talk behind the scenes here because, I have heard from a lot of teachers that say kids are not being tested on site. It's up for parents to go figure out when testing should take place once they are feeling sick or have a fever. Teachers who are fully vaccinated and came into contact with a child or another employee are being told not to test if they are vaccinated. What's your response to all the miscommunication that is happening from school to school?
So the goal is to have a single protocol where everybody knows kind of what is happening. We want to get to a modified quarantine place, which is where if that child does not have COVID symptoms and they have been mask wearing and doing the things that are allowed of them, that we can test them with parental permission twice in that 10-day window, and they can remain in class with us instead of being, people being contact traced out or classes being closed. Across the valley, folks are being told, hey, go and have your kids tested. We're trying to find a way to do that within our schools. Using our nursing staff is insufficient because our nurses already have enough to do just in terms of contact tracing, and they're running the normal course and scope of the nurse's office. So getting outside people, some participants from third-party agencies to do that with us. The COVID Equity Project's trying to help. We're working with Carol Goldsmith trying to get future nurse
Why wasn't this all set up beforehand?
Because, Alex, quite honestly, we weren't in the level of transmission that we are now, right? If people ask about eLearn Academy, at the end of July, we had 250 kids in eLearn Academy. As of today, there are 3,200 kids in eLearn. It's our largest school. It's bigger than Sunnyside now, but families just made that decision in the last month. It's not even a month yet.
I got 10 seconds. Can you give me a number of how many employees need to be vaccinated? How many students who are eligible need to be vaccinated?
We anticipate, we think our vaccination rates are about 50%. We'd love to get that into the 60th and 70th percentile. The hard part is most people who want to be vaccinated have been vaccinated. So we're relying upon the goodwill of people to get forward and get that done.
Superintendent Bob Nelson, appreciate the time.
Good to see you as always.
Well, coming up, the State Center Community College District now mandating their staff and students across all of their campuses to get vaccinated. How they plan to handle those who refuse. Trustee Nazreen Johnson joins me next.